Welcome to Simply Sheppy, your community podcast which aims to create and enhance connections within the community to build a better Sheppy. Hello and welcome. This episode I'm joined by Lucia Parrott, a yoga instructor and founder of Moving Munchkins on the Isle of Sheppy, who happens to do Zoom yoga classes with my 4-year-old stepson, whose face always tells me how much he's enjoying himself. And as I said to you on Thursday, that was good fun, was what he said after the class had finished. So thanks so much for that. And thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. And I've really enjoyed teaching Matthew. He's doing really amazingly.
Thank you. As we start, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself and your business?
My name is Lucia. I have 2 little girls. One is 8 and one is nearly 3. And the whole idea of this was because we love being busy. We like going out, we like doing things, but there was not many things for little kids between age 1 and 4 nearly to actually do around here. Most of them are up to 1-year-olds for babies, and then everything else that's from 4 years upwards. And because me and my husband both practice yoga, both girls loved it. They keep joining us, they keep copying us. So I thought, oh, that would be quite a nice idea. And kids do actually love it. People think a bit like, oh, kids for yoga, how they're doing it, because normally when they think yoga, it's all quiet and doing things. But ours is completely opposite. We do lots of running, jumping, and just fit yoga poses to make sure that kids have fun.
Yeah, so you do quite a lot to the music, don't you? We were always hearing the bare necessities is one that we hear quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do the themes as well, don't you? So you had the.
Yes, I do try to make changes. Like obviously some of them will repeat eventually, but I do try every week different ones, from pirates to dinosaurs to fairies. Anything really. Like at the moment, Monday morning ones, we have really little children, and all we do is do dancing. Even we don't do stories. Last week we were doing on McDonald's farm, and every time we heard the animal, we'll pause, done the animal pose, and then we carry on with the shakers, musical instruments, whatever the children were comfortable, jumping, dancing, running around, and they had fun. And that's how we just try to get them to encourage them to do it.
I think an awful lot of adults who do yoga might be a bit jealous now.
Probably that one. That's why I love doing with the kids. They're just so much fun.
They are, and the expressions of joy when they're just sort of running around to music and they're dancing, it's fantastic. And that actually leads me into my next question, which is, what do you enjoy the most about your job?
See, I'm a big kid. I love anything kid-wise. So put me out in the snow, I'm the first one to throw a snowball. We did this as well. I love dancing, singing, making silly faces, just having basically fun like kids do. And they don't realise they're learning all these different things as we are having it through songs, through dancing, because that imagination is such a big thing that any storytelling, you just say, oh, there's a fairy doll, they imagine these big, glittery, colourful things, and these fairies coming out, and this is the best thing about it, when they just come out. And I love it when they might not look, they're actually paying attention to class, and then I get pictures in the evening from the parents saying, they just literally repeated the whole class, and showing what the rest of the family, because I'm saying, that's not how you do it, you need to do it like this, and just literally perform, loving it.
That sounds brilliant. So it's having a genuine impact on the kids outside of class as well. Yeah, that must be really rewarding to know.
Yeah.
So there's the fun stuff. What are the challenges? What challenges do you face building your own business?
When I first started, I think one of the biggest one was lots of people, when you contacted the halls, they were like, oh, we already have yoga. I'm like, yes, but this is yoga for kids. So some of them weren't actually interested because they just can't seem to be getting past it. And I think that's the same thing when it comes to adults. They're saying like, oh, for yoga, how is that going to work? Then I can't sit still and things like that. So until actually someone gives it a go, it's hard to get them to come and try to actually come and see what it actually is. So it's not just, oh, you're sitting on the floor and all meditation. We do classes like that as well for children who wish to, but generally we try to do it all up and fun, and so they just learn in between whatever they like the most, which is dancing and singing and being silly.
They do like being silly, don't they? What about the coronavirus? Has that affected your business at all?
Yes, quite a bit actually, because just before I've not been quite long open before the coronavirus started, but I started having quite a few classes, quite busy ones. As we moved to Zoom class, it really dropped. We only have really handful of children coming because people are scared of Zoom, not it's something new again, and then between all the home learning and everything, just finding time. So it's really been tough for people to come and try teaching over Zoom.
Have you managed to keep it going, or?
We had few classes going, but it's like Monday morning one, not counting my own children. I only have one little girl joining. Then on Thursday evenings, I only have 4, which I used to have Thursday evening. I had full class before lockdown. So it is, and Friday mornings I used to done before lockdown. Now there's not even Friday morning class because there was nobody going to join in.
That's a shame, because of course all the kids are missing out on the time that they would be spending on yoga, and we have to understand that it's difficult for parents. You know, it's an incredibly difficult time for anybody, isn't it, at the moment?
It's finding the right balance, and I think because it's quite. I teach my 8-year-old at home through Zoom, and it is stressful. So I do get them parents being like, "Oh, already had enough of Zoom classes and online learning and stuff like that." But like you said, it's shame because kids are missing out on all this fun. And mainly when it's been raining, so you can't even get them out, go and outside. So this is at least something they could join in and enjoy.
Yeah, so we can maybe put a shout out and say maybe they can try it once and see how it works, and if they enjoy it and it works for them, then maybe they could do it again. You know, just overcome that initial barrier. You know, of
Anyone is welcome, and if I can always add extra classes. It's no problem. Just want people to come and join in and have fun.
Yeah, I can say that, you know, I was a bit wary about yoga over Zoom myself. Because, you know, I'm wondering, well, in class you have a physical teacher who corrects you, don't you? So, you know, and sometimes they even physically put you in the right place. So I was a bit wondering about Zoom, but actually I think for Matthew, it works really well.
See, we don't correct children.
Okay.
Adults do, because obviously you try to do it by day. But with kids, unless it's actually health and safety issue, you just leave the kids to it. They will do it. They will do it themselves, whatever, because one tree pose might look something like this for one child. The other child might want their hands spread out, not having on the top. So we do not correct children unless we think they're going to hurt themselves or something, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Otherwise, we just let them get on with it and have fun. There's so many things.
Didn't know that. That's good to know. Okay, and that and the reason for that is what, that they learn better if they're not corrected, or?
Yeah, it's kind of help them build their self-esteem. Because if you keep correcting children, they think like, "Oh, I'm doing it wrong." And this is the thing. I do yoga myself, and our yoga teacher always said, "If you can't do it like this, do it like this." She always give us 2 options because not everyone can do something exactly the same as everyone else. So that's the beauty of teaching kids yoga, that anyone can do it. As long as they obviously not doing something that can help themselves, just lead them to it. They can do whatever they like because, like I said, tree looks different to everyone. My daughter prefers to do cat differently than we should be normally. Why should we change it? This is her imagination. Let them be.
Okay, I like that. That's very positive and very encouraging. And maybe that's why Matthew enjoys it so much.
Yeah.
So, given these challenges to your company at the moment, what are your plans for the future?
We're just hoping to get more awareness, more children in, and maybe one day we can venture out of Sheppey as well. But at least for children of Sheppey to come and have something to do and help them with anxiety as well. Because some yoga, even when it's a fun one like that, it does help with anxiety and all the stress because they just start thinking about, oh, it's a song, let's dance to it, instead of thinking, I had to do the homework, or why did I wear this, or, you know, like children do when singing. So it just makes them all kind of calm and hopefully bring more children and more awareness to it.
Okay, so there's potential expansion there somewhere when the coronavirus is gone. Some businesses, of course, have flourished under Zoom, but I can see why yoga would have not
I
quite
think
so much.
because we were quite new, there's not many people wanting to come back because I was quite new as well. Like I never heard of Zoom till last year when the first lockdown happened. So I think everything is quite new. It's just kind of didn't gel well properly. So fingers crossed, after coronavirus, we can get more classes and get into more areas around our Sheffield as well.
I'm sure you will. And that sort of leads me into my next question as well, which is we're talking about activities for children. What are the greatest barriers in keeping our children fit at the moment, do you think? And how can we sort of overcome those?
I think lots of people don't know what everything is available for kids. Quite often we hear, oh, there's nothing for the kids to do, which then because parents don't always hear about all these new things and don't know. So I think there was some way, somehow, where parents, everything was under one space where they can see, oh, what's happening, what's new, or they can even put input, what would they like for them, something new to come here. So we took a lot of research before we started to see if they will work. But even then, we couldn't reach everyone and see if they will work and stuff like that. So I think just having it like that, because like team sport and football and gymnastics, you hear all the time. But all the other classes like yoga for children or even martial arts, not often you hear about things because they're not as popular as other things. So I think they're all somewhere which parents can see everything what's happening on the island and even put their own input what would they like to see. I think that will be amazing.
I think you might be onto something there, and I think if anybody's listening who wants to support Lucia in setting up a hub for children's fitness on the island, I think maybe we'll have some offers there. So fingers crossed.
Maybe.
You may be, and this is the lockdown. This is the time to put the work in to set something like that up, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, so what about parents themselves? Do you think that there is enough awareness about how to keep our children fit, or what to feed them, or how much exercise they should be doing?
I think again there could be more information because I think some parents they know and they all think about it and they're like, yes, we do. But I think some parents lack of help because some parents need a bit more information and need more help. And I don't think there is as much help out there to support parents and support people who need more help. Just think that could be another thing to really look into it. Because not everyone kind of just being like, all right, what shall I do now? Some parents need more research and need more things. And I think that's something that really needs to be looked into.
Yeah, I think parental support is crucial in any area, including sort of, health and fitness. But I guess at the moment, parents are often focusing on getting their maths and English done, and and keeping them indoors to do that rather than letting them out and run around. But yeah, so I think one of the barriers that we face is you can't let them out to play out the front. We're so lucky we've got a garden out the back, but we've got a busy May Road out the front, and of course you can't let them out there to play. And again, we are blessed with a wonderful park down the road, but of course when the coronavirus hit and that was shut, I mean, both boys were absolutely devastated. And then it's a case of, well, okay, we do some walks in the woods or we do football in the park, but it's not quite the same thing. It's about constantly adapting to the circumstances. And
I think the school could help as well, because I know some parents have been complaining that some school literally saying to them, well, your children not been doing homework on home learning this week. Instead of like our school, they've been sending us emails saying, but make sure the children do go out and play, just to remind children, like, yes, home learning is important, but going outside and playing is important as well. And I think that's where the parents need help, because if people keep going on about them saying, oh, is your home learning done? Is your home learning done? Is English done? Is math done? They kind of forget that children need to go out as well, because they keep hearing these things in their ears. But if schools and everyone else keeps reminding them, like, yeah, it's fine to do learning, but kids need, make sure they go out and play. I think that would be quite important as well.
Yes, definitely. And I think some schools are also doing online fitness classes, so that really helps. So yeah, some examples of positive support and some examples of perhaps not so much. I think it's a bit of potluck there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So should we all be doing yoga?
I think yes, because yoga is really good stress release. Sorry, because you can get your mind eased, and like I said earlier, for children as well, mainly, is one of those no judgmental and no competitive sports. Like I said, everyone just do what they like. They can set up their own goals and achieve them in whatever time they want. And we just need to help them and support them. And that's why we don't correct children when they do something wrong, because they just feel like, all right, this is what I can do. Just because I can't stretch my leg completely like that someone else does, I'm going to do it with bent legs or anything. So yeah, yoga is really good for everyone.
Okay. I have to admit, I was doing some online classes myself over the lockdown with the yoga, because I did miss my yoga, and I quite liked doing it in my own front room because I felt like nobody was watching me. So it really, I progressed quite a lot, because I wasn't sort of, when I did it in the gym class, I was sort of looking around going, oh, she's like 20 years older than me and she can put her foot over her head. Like, what is wrong with me? But I think I'm the kind of person who benefits from doing it in my own front room, and then finding that I progress that way. And I think there are other people who find that lacking and who need to be in a class and who need the contact. I think a lot of people are different, aren't they, in that sense?
You see, that's what I find with children as well. Being at home, they kind of get distracted. So the class, they say, oh, someone else is doing it. But that's why we don't, they love it being together. And then they're like, oh, she's doing like that. Oh, maybe I can try like that. So they don't feel like, oh, why is he doing like that? And I can't do it like that. They just give it a go. And that's what we're trying to keep them thinking like that, saying, we can do anything as long as we try and keep practicing. And then you can take that over to anything else in your life. As long as you keep practice and keep try, you can do anything in life.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a fantastic mindset to put into kids, and then maybe they will grow up into adults who don't look around the room and go, well, she's 20 years older than me and she put her foot over her head, what's the matter with me? They'll just think, oh, okay, maybe I'll be able to do that one day, and maybe I won't. It doesn't matter, that which would be a much better way of thinking about it, wouldn't it? And I know my the latest yoga instructor I had, she was very good, because she just said, it's not about what you can do, it's about what your body can do. Everybody's body is different, and everybody's body has a different abilities, and it depends on your background, your fitness, your sports and everything like that. So I'm sort of learning to let go of this idea that I have to do all of the poses to the best.
Like the idea that everything is square and it has to work exactly and everyone has to fit. Doesn't matter if you're triangle, you have to fit in a square. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I love that these kids, they're going through this process, and they're going to have a very different mindset. I think that's fantastic. So this podcast is also about the Isla Sheppey and about celebrating all things Isla Sheppey. So my question is, what can be done on the Isla Sheppey, do you think, to increase wellbeing and fitness? You already had this fantastic idea of this fitness hub, but yeah.
I think just more people bring more awareness than what's going around, but also I think there should be more funding from the council, local councils, because some parents cannot afford to pay for classes, and then those children are missing out. I do try to keep and I know other people do as well, probably low cost as much as possible. But then if you have to rent spaces and you have insurance and all that, you cannot obviously do them for free. And I think that would be a great idea if like local councils could bring funding to families where they cannot afford to be paying for these kind of things, because not everyone can afford it. And just bring more awareness of what's going on, and keep like local parks up to date as well, so that kids can go outside and play, and just generally like that.
All important stuff. There is a lady on the island. She's founded a company, Sheppey is Ours, and she has created a mascot called Rammy that
Okay.
she would like to use to promote health and well-being on the island. So businesses can use the mascot to promote themselves, and that will be a go-to for people to be able to locate and find out about how to health and well-being on the island. So I think perhaps that might be something that you could explore, and then maybe this idea of a hub could form from that, because there could be a Rammy hub. So I'll try and make sure that you two get in touch.
Yeah, that's definitely something we'll look into it.
As I said, it's lockdown. You know, this is the time to put in the hours, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
What are your favourite things about the Isle of Sheppey?
Oh, I love the beach. We literally live about 5 minutes away from the Sheerness Beach, and we go at least 2-3 times a week for the walk. Sometimes all the way up to Minster Beach and back. We just love it. Love all going out to the national park, the Elm National Park. We like going there as well with the kids. Yeah, just outdoor spaces to go out. And like I said earlier, we like going out. We like walking. My kids love going on a scooter and back and stuff like that. So we're just really outdoors. So it's a good place to be.
The Isle of Sheppey does have some good gems, doesn't it?
Yes.
In terms of outdoor spaces, we discovered an awful lot of them in lockdown because you had to stay local. So it was a fantastic opportunity to discover these places on the island. But yeah, so thank you very much, Lucia, for being with us today. Did you have anything that you wanted to add before we go that you...
No, I think we covered everything. Yeah, we just want to bring awareness that these are actually happening, these things. And I think one of the biggest challenges we have a little bit as well is that when children come into the class and they don't try the first time, parents decide, oh, you know, they don't want it or don't like it, and kind of don't want to bring them again. Sometimes you just need to give it a time. My oldest one started karate when she was 3 years old, and it took her nearly 6 months to start joining in. First month, she'll be screaming in the room, and I had to really hold on to me. Then she slowly started doing it with me, and now she's getting ready for her pulse on a white strip, I think, from the karate. So I think people just need to give a chance, and that's what we're here for. Come and give them a chance. We try. If children come into my class and they don't respond to what I'm doing, I always try to do something different to help them as well. Try to include them with different things just so they can come and enjoy it.
And it's worth... Go on.
Sorry, just please give us a try. And yeah, it's not a yoga as you think. It's lots of fun, lots of movement, lots of dancing and singing.
And children's fitness is so important that it's worth sticking to it for a few weeks to see how the children get on. Yeah, I agree. Okay. So thank you for being here, Lucia. And thank you everyone for listening. And remember, as always, that this is your community podcast. So if you want to get involved, if you want to be an interviewee, if you want to host a podcast yourself, if you just have some suggestions, just get in touch and let me know. And I will list all of Lucia's contact details when we release the podcast. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lucia, again.
Thank you.